Hello, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. In many of my philosophy videos, I talked about morality and ethical theories. Today, I'd like to talk about a subject that is often discussed together with morality, that is, justice, and share with you some of my critical thoughts. It is true that morality and justice are interconnected, but they serve different functions. When we talk about morality, we usually talk about it in terms of individual life. In other words, we often use the word morality to describe how individuals behave. But when we talk about justice, we usually talk about what kind of society there is. In other words, justice is a word we use to describe how a society is governed. Morality involves judgments of right or wrong, whereas justice involves judgments of fairness and equality. In philosophy, the concept of justice refers to fairness, moral rightness, and impartial enforcement of law. In practice, justice is served when everyone gets what they deserve, is treated equally regardless of status, and is held accountable for actions through due process. Since ancient Greek times, justice has been a topic of discussion for every major philosopher. Plato viewed a just society in which every individual played his role that was best suited to his nature. According to him, there were three classes of people who possessed different virtues. On the top of society were what he called philosopher kings, who possessed wisdom and therefore should be rulers. In the middle were warriors, who possessed courage and therefore should play the role of defending the state. On the bottom were producers, who possessed the virtue of temperance and therefore should perform the duty of making goods and services for the state. Plato maintained that such division of labor, which was willingly accepted by everyone, allowed every individual to achieve their fullest potential. Every essential task was performed by those most suited for it. It was this kind of society that he considered as harmonious and just. Karl Marx, the famous German philosopher, envisioned a just society which he called communist society. Communist society, according to him, is the final stage and ultimate aim of social development, where there is no private property, no government, no social classes, none of the evil things we see in a capitalist society. In a communist society, everyone is absolutely equal to everyone else. Marx described such a society as one in which from each according to his ability and to each according to his needs. In other words, in a communist society, there is an abundance of everything for everyone, and everyone willingly makes the best contributions to community according to his capabilities. It is a perfect society. Of course, those societies envisioned by Plato and Marx are only utopian societies because there have not been any society like them so far in human history, and they are not likely to materialize in the near future. In such too good to be true societies, the question of justice would never become an issue because there is no injustice whatsoever. In reality, however, we are living in a society where there is a scarcity of everything. Not only do we fail to get what we want, we even don't get what we need. Sometimes selfish people will try to get more at the expense of others. Rich people are becoming richer, and poor people are becoming poorer. Some individuals behave well, others badly. Most people abide by laws, but there are still people who commit crimes, some of whom never get punished or can't get away with little punishment. So, how should justice be achieved and maintained in our society? Different people will focus on different aspects of justice. Some may feel it as a priority that people who behave well should be rewarded and those criminals should be punished accordingly. Others may emphasize that people who work hard should be paid well for their hard work. Still others may insist that people should get to keep what they have without fear that it will be taken away. Finally, the problem of justice will also arise when your demands or other people's demands cannot be satisfied at all, or they cannot be satisfied equally. In a word, justice is about how to deal with those various concerns, and which concern should be addressed as most important. Philosophers generally divide these concerns into two categories. One about punishment of bad behavior, and the other about distribution of goods and responsibilities. The first is called retributive justice, and the second, distributive justice. To some people, retributive justice is more important because they have a strong moral intuition that wrongdoers should get what they deserve. When they see punishment being implemented, they feel emotionally satisfied. They emphasize the importance of retributive justice for another reason. Punishment of crimes reinforces shared values, contributing to community unity and solidarity. For them, retributive justice is supposed to be blind to particular individuals, regardless of their political status or their economic power, because equality of law is supposed to be the foundation of justice. But so far as I am concerned, such blindness is questionable in some cases. Should different people be treated differently under different circumstances? When a desperate father stole a piece of bread for his starving child, should he be punished in the same way as any other thief by blind justice? If your idea of justice is to issue the same ticket to everyone who speeds on highway, do you think a millionaire driver and a poor driver will feel the same financial impact and therefore will not speed again? In some countries where lawyers play a crucial role in their criminal justice system, is it justice served when rich people can afford to hire top lawyers who can help them get away with little or no punishment, whereas the poor people can only hire mediocre lawyers? To some other people, distributive justice should be priority because they see it as a foundation for social stability, well-being, and harmony. For them, fair distribution of resources decreases resentment. Satisfaction of basic needs reduces crimes and violence. But again, for me, the idea of distributive justice raises a few controversial issues. If you insist that hard-working people should be paid well, what about those without jobs? Or what about a playboy who doesn't work but leads a life of luxury just because his father worked himself to death? Is it justice served? If you argue that distribution of goods and services should be equal to everyone, what incentives do you have to encourage people to work harder and contribute more to society? If you believe justice is served when people can keep what they have, why should government impose taxes on people? Why should richer people pay more taxes? Is it contradictory to the idea that hard-working people should be paid well, at least better than lazy people? However, distributive justice is not limited to wealth and goods. Equally important is the distribution of power and privilege. In the field of education, for example, many questions need to be answered. Who in America should have access to public education? Should it be accessible to everyone or only to American citizens, not immigrants? There are also questions in other fields. Who should be permitted to vote? Who can apply for a driver's license? Should medical services be provided on the basis of need, or should they only be given to those who can afford to pay for them? Well, I think I have raised more questions than I have answered. Honestly, I don't think I have satisfactory answers for every one of them. But many of those questions are self-explanatory. And I think all of them are practical, real-life questions that are essential to a good understanding of the philosophical term justice. My real purpose is to provide you with some food for thought. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.